I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. He's holding the knife with the bloody thing. You get the girl who's basically like the ghost of the person that he killed.
Hearing those words now, it feels like David had been foreshadowing Celeste's fate the whole time. And now, as mourners gather for her funeral, David finally breaks his silence, delivering a speech no one saw coming. From disturbing online posts to chilling footage caught on camera, what's being uncovered now will forever change how we view this tragedy. When the truth hit different, investigators found some wild stuff. As they dug into what really happened to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose dismembered body was discovered in David's car, they uncovered deeply disturbing evidence that shook the entire industry. This wasn't some random tragedy, fam. The deeper they went, the clearer it became that this young artist, David Anthony Burke, better known as David, had been living a double life darker than any of his sad boy tracks could capture. The creepiest part? David's music had been telling the story before it even happened. Bro was literally confessing his future crimes through his lyrics, and everyone just thought it was artistic expression. But when you really listen, he was documenting his moves in real time, and nobody caught it until it was far too late.
Now on to some truly creepy developments in the mysterious case of Celeste Rivas, the teenager whose dismembered body was found in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. Back in February, David released a music video for his song One More Dance. In it, he's seen covered in blood, dragging a body across the ground. He then dumps that body in, you guessed it, the trunk of a car. In light of the circumstances, the parallel is a disturbing coincidence, raising some eyebrows.
David's February 2025 video for One More Dance literally showed him dragging a bloody body and shoving it into a car trunk, the exact way Celeste's remains were later discovered in his Tesla's front trunk 7 months later. My guy played both the killer and the victim in his own video. That's some twisted foreshadowing right there. But it gets even wilder. During his 2025 Withered World Tour, he was bringing real caskets on stage and having fans write letters to the dead. Bro was literally performing fake funerals while Celeste might have already been gone. That timing isn't coincidence. That's cold, calculated behavior.
People are also finding this disturbing that he tours with a casket. He brings a casket with him on tour, which artists do some creepy, weird shit like this all the time. Like, I'm Suicide Boys fans, they do weird shit, but oh man, with the context of all this is very, very, very bad.
Back in 2022, he went on record talking about a character he created called Itami, an evil alter ego who committed murders that he'd later solve as a detective. Bro literally said, "I'd be solving murders I committed myself." Hearing that now, with what we know, it hits completely different. That wasn't creative storytelling. That was a confession disguised as art.
And I had the idea to kind of make this first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point, and I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears his blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as a detective. I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself.
The street started buzzing when digital forensics uncovered some seriously incriminating evidence behind the scenes. Screenshots allegedly showed David posting about having a kid on the way with what investigators believe was Celeste's account. Now people are saying that pregnancy might have been the motive. The girl was carrying his child, and he couldn't risk that truth getting out.
And in this alleged screenshot, David even claims that he and the deleted user have a kid on the way back in July of 2024, which people obviously speculate could be the very reason that she ended up losing her life.
What really had the community furious was discovering how deep this operation ran. The Hollywood Hills mansion where Celeste was found during one of her runaways was leased under his manager Josh Marshall's name at Intercope Records. As soon as the feds raided the spot, Marshall broke that $20,000 a month lease and vanished. That's some real suspicious behavior. Nobody drops a lease that expensive unless they've got something major to hide.
More to this post, we have just confirmed the house is being rented by Josh Marshall, David's manager at Interscope. David appeared on a lot of Twitch live streams, and this clip has been going around because the girl in it is wearing the same Gap hoodie as Celeste.
The internet completely lost it when the story broke. Social media turned into a war zone as amateur detectives from the hood to the suburbs pulled up receipts, analyzed evidence, and ran their own investigations. The hashtag task force trended everywhere with over 2 million mentions. And people weren't just mourning, they were out for justice.
So singer David is in some hot water. Previously, it was reported a dismembered body was found in the trunk of his car while he was on tour. Today, the dead body was identified as a 15-year-old who's been missing since she was 13.
The reaction from David's fan base showed just how divided people really were. Some fans immediately cut ties and called for boycotts, while others straight up victim blamed, saying Celeste brought it on herself with fake IDs. That kind of thinking is exactly why young girls from tough backgrounds don't get the protection they deserve. Instead of holding the grown man accountable, they were finding excuses to blame a child who was clearly being manipulated. Throughout the investigation, David stayed quiet as ever. His last social media post was on September 5, 2025, just 3 days before Celeste's body was discovered. While his legal team probably advised him to stay silent, that silence only made things look worse. The streets don't respect silence when a child's dead and you're the main suspect. Legal experts started breaking down why no arrest had happened yet, and it all came down to technicalities. The cause of death was still deferred because of how decomposed Celeste's remains were, making it hard for prosecutors to prove exactly how she died. But everyone in the streets knew what time it was. You don't just accidentally end up dismembered in someone's trunk.
Well, they're taking their time, Ashley, which is exactly what they should be doing. And there's a lot to untangle here, and it's important to remember he's presumed innocent, right? And we know, based on past history, there are juries in LA that will entertain absolutely insane defense theories.
The music industry's response was swift as hell. Intercoke pulled all promotions, major brands dropped him instantly, and collaborations got cancelled faster than you could say lawsuit. But the speed of those reactions made it seem like insiders already knew something was wrong long before the public did. What really had people tripping was finding out David was still active online after the discovery, playing video games like nothing happened. Reports showed he was logged into Fortnite even after Celeste's body was found, showing a level of detachment that made everyone question his mental state.
And just yesterday, he was tracked on Fortnite, playing several matches of the casual reload game mode on his account. So I don't know, it's like the guy's whole life could be at stake and he's out here just running Fortnite, like living freely. I mean, something about that just sits so wrong with me.
The evidence painted a picture of someone who wasn't just committing crimes, he was documenting them through his art, getting industry cosigns for his darkness, and maintaining innocence while a child's family suffered. This case exposed how the entertainment world protects predators when there's money on the line, and how young girls from certain backgrounds don't get the same justice as others. But the shocking revelations were only the beginning of how deep this rabbit hole went. The digital paper trail told the real story, how this predator got caught slipping. When the feds dug through David's online footprint, they uncovered a full-blown operation that had been running for years, targeting a vulnerable girl since she was barely out of elementary school. The evidence showed a pattern of calculated grooming that revealed how predators move in the digital age when they think nobody's watching. The big break came on September 17, 2025, when LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division raided that Hollywood Hills mansion with a search warrant. This wasn't some routine house check, they brought the whole squad. Over 20 detectives and forensic specialists spent 6 to 8 hours tearing that place apart like they were searching for Jimmy Hoffa.
We're told that the detectives went through the house. There was, with luminol, thinking that if whatever happened to Celeste, if she met her demise in the house, they wanted to see if there was any evidence of blood anywhere in the home. So they were using luminol around the house. They were checking drains to see if there's any, blood evidence or, blood or tissue that was in the drains there.
The warrant was thorough as hell, covering everything from digital devices to biological evidence. Investigators seized a full arsenal of electronics, computers, laptops, phones, hard drives, and even David's PlayStation 5, the same one he used for his Twitch streams where he allegedly first connected with Celeste. They also ran luminol tests all throughout the crib, checking drains, walls, and floors for traces of blood that could show where the murder might have gone down.
His manager's in on it. Would not be surprised if the manager was in charge of getting rid of the evidence, or he did it himself for David. Either way, he probably had some involved because the car was moved while he was on tour.
The digital evidence they found was damning. Screenshots from Discord allegedly showed David talking to someone named Celeste all the way back in 2022, when she was just 12 and he was 17. This wasn't some random online encounter. It was the start of a long-term grooming operation that followed the classic Predator playbook. The pattern was textbook. An older guy with clout slides into a young girl's DMs, makes her feel special and mature, then slowly escalates things while isolating her from everyone who could protect her. David used his rising fame and music talent as bait, making Celeste believe she was part of something exclusive, when in reality, he was setting her up for exploitation.
and I think it's her because she has a hoodie on and glasses almost to like kind of hide her identity a little bit. Like that's what that looks like in my opinion. But it's just a clip of the stream and they talk about, at some point Jeffrey Epstein gets brought up, bro, and she says something about what's controversial about R-wording kids.
One of the most incriminating pieces of evidence was the leaked track Celeste demo Unfin, which had been floating around since December 2023. The song contained deeply inappropriate lyrics about someone named Celeste that no one paid attention to until now.
In one of his leaked songs, David sings about professing his love to someone named Celeste. The verses include, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed."
The timing of that track was wildly suspicious. He recorded it when Celeste was just 13, basically documenting his obsession with a child through his music. The lyrics spoke about physical control and possession in ways that were clearly illegal if aimed at a minor, which they were. But the truly twisted part was how calculated the cover-up seemed. TMZ reported that Celeste had multiple fake IDs that made her appear to be a 19-year-old college student, allowing her to enter age-restricted venues and travel with David without suspicion. This wasn't some teenage girl getting a fake ID for parties. This was a coordinated deception designed to normalize an illegal relationship. The fake ID setup was deep: driver's licenses, student cards, everything. It helped her blend into adult spaces so nobody questioned why a grown man was with someone who looked so young. David's team genuinely thought she was legal because the documents backed up her story. Even more disturbing, evidence suggested David was paying people off to keep quiet about the truth. Photos surfaced showing him in Lake Elsinore, near Celeste's home, handing out cash to local kids. While it's unclear exactly what those payments were for, the timing and location made it seem like he was buying silence about Celeste's real age and whereabouts.
This is another picture that's been going around for days. They're saying this is him paying off people to keep quiet about the situation. There's no solid evidence or confirmation that that's true. Like, this could just be him meeting a fan.
The timeline investigators built showed just how long this relationship had been developing. It started around early 2022, when Celeste was only 11 or 12 and David was 16 or 17, through Twitch and Discord, platforms where he was growing his online following. By 2023, he was already writing obsessive songs about her. And by September 2024,
which is very interesting, something we found out, but she had a tattoo on her right index finger that said the letters SHHH ... And that was on her right index finger. Yes, he had the same one at least as of last September.
Those matching shirt tattoos were especially significant because Celeste was only 14 when she got hers. Under California law, minors need parental consent for tattoos. So how did she get one without her family knowing? That tattoo symbolized a level of loyalty and shared identity that predators often use to trap their victims, making them feel special and bonded in a way that's hard to break. The investigation later revealed that Celeste's runaway pattern wasn't random at all. It was directly tied to her relationship with David. Her first disappearance, in February 2024, led police straight to the Hollywood Hills property where David was staying. Instead of recognizing this as a grooming red flag, authorities just labeled her another runaway and sent her home. Neighbors from that Hollywood Hills neighborhood gave crucial testimony about what they saw. Multiple witnesses described seeing David and Celeste together often, acting like a normal couple and assuming she was around 18 or 19 based on how she presented herself. They saw them loading groceries, holding hands, laughing. Everything looked ordinary. That's what made it so disturbing. The deception was that effective. One of the most chilling pieces of evidence came from a Twitch stream in February 2024. The clip was deleted fast, but viewers saved it. In it, you can hear a female voice, believed to be Celeste, making concerning comments about inappropriate topics. David quickly told his moderators to wipe everything.
Some people are saying that's him covering his tracks because he has a girl with him that is underage next to him. But there's more context to the clip. Here's more context to that clip.
Media trained you.
Media trained you is what he just said, because she just said something about Jeffrey Epstein.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
They mute the mic.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
The level of planning behind this whole operation proved David wasn't just some random predator. He had a system, calculated and methodical, for targeting vulnerable young fans through his sad boy persona. His music and social media presence were crafted to attract kids who felt lonely, misunderstood, or unloved, giving him direct access to a pipeline of emotionally vulnerable followers seeking comfort and validation. Then came the discovery that shook the entire world. On September 8, 2025, what started as a regular Monday morning at a Hollywood tow yard turned into one of the most horrifying finds the city had seen in years. Workers at Hollywood Tow were just doing their jobs when they stumbled on something that would expose a year-long tragedy, one hidden behind fame, money, and manipulation. The Tesla in question, a black 2023 Model X with Texas plates, was registered to none other than David Anthony Burke, the R&B artist known simply as David. At just 20 years old, David had skyrocketed to fame through TikTok, with his viral track Romantic Homicide racking up over 1 billion streams on Spotify. From making beats in his Houston bedroom to selling out venues nationwide, he was living the dream. But inside the front trunk of that Tesla, where a normal car would have its engine, workers found the decomposed and dismembered remains of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her body was wrapped in plastic, and according to reports, her remains were not intact. Authorities said it was clear someone had attempted to conceal the evidence in the most gruesome way possible.
He took a very big interest in sniffing all of it. I'm just remembering something, this is gonna sound horrible. So we would walk by the hedges, and I'm like, the hedges always smell like something decomposing. And there's a lot of rats around in here, but there was always a smell. There was always a smell.
The timing of the discovery was cold as hell. Celeste had just turned 15 on September 7th, 2025, literally one day before her body was found. People started wondering if that timing was symbolic, but forensics confirmed she'd been dead for weeks, maybe months, likely during that scorching California summer when the heat inside the sealed Tesla sped up decomposition. The identification process tied everything together. Investigators confirmed it was Celeste through dental records and a small shirt tattoo on her right index finger, inked in red, the same design David had on his own finger in black. That matching tattoo became a crucial link between the victim and the car's owner. When the story broke, the contrast between David's public image and the horrifying truth had everyone reeling. This was a guy known for soft, emotional music about heartbreak and pain. Yet now, he was being connected to a brutal, real-life tragedy. At the time of the discovery, he was performing in Minneapolis on tour. His team said he was cooperating fully with investigators, but David himself stayed silent. No statements, no interviews, nothing. Celeste's story exposed how the system failed her at every turn, a young girl who slipped through the cracks while the world was busy streaming her predator's songs.